Welcome to Dory Cote on Shamanism, a weekly podcast that explores one theme in shamanism throughout each month. Get comfortable, have a seat, and let's get started.
Welcome to podcast number 35. I welcome you to listen in to our conversation about what is abundance.
Dory, what is your perspective on what people often call having abundance?
My perspective comes from years of working with this whole concept of creating abundance. I remember many, many years ago, long before I was even on a shamanic path, people in my spiritual community talking about, let's create abundance together. And none of us really knew what that meant. We thought it meant creating, money for the community or creating something that looked like material objects or material gain or material satisfaction. In fact, what we found as we began to really study, what is abundance? What we found is that abundance really is, again, it's a belief. It isn't material. It isn't expressed in material way at all. Having abundance is about what you believe about abundance, and it's what you believe about whether you have abundance or not. So let's see if I can explain this more thoroughly. If I live in a small room somewhere, and I, again, going back to our last podcast, I appreciate that I have a room, and I appreciate that I have a window, and I believe that this is amazing abundance for me, that I have this place that I can call my own, then I have abundance because I believe I have abundance. If I live in a mansion by the sea and I am dissatisfied because I don't like my kitchen counter and I'm angry about that a lot, and I want a new kitchen counter, and I'm focused on creating a new kitchen counter, and I'm angry with my spouse because we haven't created a new kitchen counter together yet, then I don't have abundance. I'm living in this fabulous place, but I am completely and utterly focused on what I don't have rather than what I do have. Focusing on what we have in the moment, every single solitary thing, including the most important, which is relationships with family, with friends, with our beloved pets, with the natural world that surrounds us. That is having abundance. It's in our, again, like I was talking about with gratitude and appreciation, it's in our heart. It's a belief. It has nothing to do with what you have or what you don't have. It is about truly believing that you have what you need right now in the moment and living a life from that place of gratitude for what you have. That is abundance. Now, from there, you can begin to practice how you might create an abundance that you would desire beyond what you already have, creating abundance. And let's talk about that for now. How do you create abundance? You, again, start with your heart and believing that you deserve all that is your birthright. The right to breathe, the right to walk, the right to have enough material objects to survive on the planet in the way of clothing and food and so on. How do you create that for yourself if you don't already have all of those? it begins with belief. And I want to talk about that perhaps with our next question. Is there another question that is there for us?
Yes, there certainly is. Let me rattle it right in. How can someone manifest abundance in their life if they don't believe it's possible?
Yes, well, that's pretty closely related to where I was going in answering that first question. Manifesting or creating abundance is an art, and it is a true, serious spiritual practice. It is not about lighting candles. It's not about repeating mantras. It's not about creating a vision board. It's about digging really, really deep into yourself to find that place in your heart and in your soul where you trust that you deserve all that you are meant to have in this lifetime, that you have value, that you are a whole human being, that you are not better than or less than anyone else, that you have the capacity to manifest what your heart desires if you focus on appreciation and gratitude for what you already have. Because you see, a lot of people think that manifesting abundance is about having a focus on what they want rather than what they already have. And truly it begins with focusing on what you have and appreciating and having gratitude for what you have. When you practice that and you really make that a true, committed, spiritual practice, and you not only appreciate what you have, but you are willing to share what you have with others, no matter how little you have, the minutest of things, every single solitary thing, and you appreciate that, and you practice appreciation, then you will begin to manifest more of what you have, whether that's more money, more happiness, more children in your life, more water, more whatever it is you desire. But it begins with gratitude and appreciation, not focusing on what you don't have that you want. The minute you start focusing on what you don't have and what you want, then the universe is getting the message, oh, he really feels bad that he doesn't have that. He's focusing on what he doesn't have, and so we're going to bring him more of what he doesn't have, which is less rather than more. But if you come from a place of gratitude and you say, I am so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this day. I'm so grateful that I have clean water. I'm so grateful for everything that I have in my life. Then the universe is aware of a human who's functioning from a place of tremendous, deep spiritual gratitude and appreciation, and will bring you more of what you appreciate. It's as simple as that, but it isn't really simple. It's a very, very serious and committed spiritual practice.
I have a personal example of that. I was living in a very dark city, not in the United States, and I had a little house that I was living in, but there was just a lot of dark energy in the city, and I started wishing I didn't live there. And then I realized that if I did that, I soon wouldn't. So I started saying, thank you for living here not one day longer than I need to, and I'm sure it's perfect for me right now. And thank you for when I live somewhere else, it's going to happen so seamlessly in a place and time that's perfect for me. And so it allowed me to be present while things were changing. And then I found another place, and within a day was moved with all kinds of support coming from unexpected places.
Beautiful. That's how one manifests abundance. Focus on what you have, appreciate what you have, express gratitude for what you have, and don't be wishing to be someplace else other than where you already are. Perfect.
Thank you. We talked about the shadow in last month's podcast. Can a shadow part of someone keep them from manifesting true abundance? Is that possible?
Yes, absolutely yes. I'm glad that we're wrapping in something from the last month's podcast. It is absolutely true that if we don't appreciate our shadow and we don't do our, quote, shadow work, then we are not truly completely happy with ourselves. We're not fully content. We don't appreciate ourselves. We don't have gratitude for all of who we are because we're discounting or setting aside a part of ourselves. We're not wrapping it into the wholeness of who we are. So if we don't have, a fundamental good feeling about ourselves, appreciation for ourselves, for our gifts, for the beauty of who we are, as well as those, shadow sides of ourselves that we're working on accepting and integrating into the wholeness of who we are. If we don't do that, then manifesting abundance is impossible because we don't have that fundamental true sense that we deserve our birthright, that we deserve more of what we already have, another beautiful apartment or more water or more financial security or more clothing or a bigger yard or, whatever it is we're desiring. If we don't have that fundamental sense that we deserve, truly deserve, it's a lot more than just saying, oh, I deserve it. No. I'm talking about a deep spiritual practice here of doing your shadow work and really sensing that, I am whole. I am me, despite anything I have done or despite anything that has happened to me. I deserve all goodness and light all the time. I deserve my birthright. I deserve all that I have come here to be and to have. Once you achieve that, then manifesting abundance becomes much easier.
This completes our prepared questions on abundance. Do you have anything to add at this time?
No, yes, I guess I do. I would like to just say that, this is a practice. I know I said that. It's a spiritual practice. This is not instantaneous. There are people who've written books about, boom, do this, and wow, you're going to have all the money you ever wanted. You're going to have the yacht. You're going to have, everything that your heart has ever desired. It is not that simple. This is a serious time commitment to a spiritual practice that is going to help you achieve all of what and who you want to be.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Dory Cote on Shamanism. We'd love to hear your thoughts, stories, reactions, and questions. Come on over to dorycote.com and join the conversation. And tune in next week for more on this subject or next month for a new subject. You can subscribe to this podcast in iTunes or sign up on dorycote.com to receive notices when the podcasts are posted. That's Dory, D-O-R-Y, and Cote, C-O-T-E.com. Drumming and rattling by Dory Cote and Terry Morgan. Technical assistance and audio production by JillHackett.com. And this is Susan Savelle, wishing you many blessings in your life. We hope to have you join us next time.